สวัสดีค่ะ and welcome to Morning Thailand อมวรรณสอนเครือหงส์
And I'm Thananaphat Noyvian. Good morning, and you're watching Morning News Edition on this Wednesday, August the 21st, 2013, which is a very auspicious day according to the lunar calendar, because it's the Sajin Day or the Spirit Festival.
Oh, so that's why we've seen a lot of ducks as well as the steamed ducks and steamed chickens just around town at this point.
And you know what? I went to the mall yesterday and without realizing it was a shopping day. And the queue is really, really long.
Right, because I think in Chinese tradition you have to have like a cleaning day, a shopping day, and a day where you're supposed to
honor
nothing.
Where we offer offerings to the gods or
the ancestors and such. Okay, very interesting. Now let's start with the first news. This particular news is actually, if you've seen in the front pages, a picture of a beautiful girl. Well, unfortunately, in the patient robes. The fact is that she is one of the famous actresses here in Thailand. Exactly, and the thing is, she was famous from one of the, if you have seen the series that pretty much empty a lot of streets at the time, right? When the series was ongoing, Supapurus Jutatep. Now, of course, it was about
very good-looking actors and actresses.
Exactly. So at this point, unfortunately, there has been a report that yesterday, early in the morning, she got into a car accident and she injured her left her left arms. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, she survived from this particular accident. However, looking at the accident itself, this could have been prevented. The problem was that at the time, they say that she, which is her name is Bella or Rani Campin, age 23, she was actually sleeping, laying down, sleeping at the back seat. And that was part of the problem that caused this particular accident to, got out of hand, because had she put on a seatbelt, this probably would not be as bad, because according to the report, her manager along with the driver, Kun Nattapot Bunsit, who was the driver at the time, was driving Kun Bella as well as the manager, back home. And it was early in the morning. It's about 3 o'clock per se. And they say that at the time it was dark. They almost home actually. However, according to the driver and the manager who was sitting at the front at the time, said that there was a stray dog that just kind of cut in front of a car, so that caused the driver to got a little bit panic and decided to slam on a brake, and that was why Bella, who was sleeping at the back without any seatbelt on, just pretty much
fell on the floor.
Yeah, no, she actually flew into the front
outside?
of a car to hit the console, and that's how
very hard and serious.
Exactly. And that's how her elbow got injured. Actually, I think the elbow was broken.
Wow, she was lucky enough.
Exactly. So it's really lucky that she didn't suffer any injuries into her head and things like that. However, at this point, they say that she's probably going to have to be hospitalized for a few weeks yet. About 2 weeks per se. So they say that at this point, a lot of people, obviously, including actresses, actors, as well as various the producers and such, that like this particular person, this
James,
man,
right?
Kun James, is actually was the main actor that was playing in the character in a series with her, and that's create a big hit within the country itself. So a lot of people are sending her, well wishes. So hopefully she will recover in time. It's 2 weeks of rest. And at this point, they say that they will have to probably wait for her because she's shooting another soap opera at this point. So they say that they're gonna, shoot in other scenes first.
She's looking really good.
Yeah, for a person who's sick. Right. All right.
Okay, wish you a very speedy recovery.
Exactly.
Moving on to some more cases, Kun Gov, yesterday police have arrested 2 men, Kun Thanadon Khajonsakshay and Kun Nathi Sira Warawit, and you won't believe what these 2 men have done.
Okay. would I would I like?
They
Not
stole
something
money.
good,
They stole
obviously.
money from people's bank accounts, but with different methods, with the
Okay.
new methods we haven't heard of
Okay.
before.
Will I?
But the thing is, when you proceed with the financial transaction at the ATM machine, some people might leave the ATM receipts at,
Oh, so
at the
you're not
at the
supposed
scene.
to, right?
No.
I never do that.
Some people live at the scene and you got a lot of piece of papers laying around.
Right.
And you know what? This is caused like the origin of this bank scheme, the bank fraud. What these two men did was that they collected the ATM receipts that people left at the ATM machine after finishing the transaction. And they look at the papers at the receipts, and if they found any accounts with the huge balances with a lot of money in there, they would try transferring to those particular accounts from their own bank accounts. And when you got to proceed with the transfer, there will be the names of the account owner showing up in order to verify if that was the accounts that you would be transferring the money to. And after that, when they got the name, they used that name. They would use that name to create a new fake ID card. What they did is they would dress as the police officer and the prison senior staff. They go into the Department of Registration's office and claim that the victim was suspected in illegal trouble, and they want more information about that particular person. And after that, they would get the birthday, date, the home address, and also some personal information. They would use this information to forge an ID card, which they will be using to create a new bank account from the same bank of the victim, but in different
Smarty
branches.
hands.
Yes, indeed. In order to avoid the process from the bank. And once they got the account with the victim's name,
Okay.
they register for an online banking service.
Yeah, you can do that actually.
And it would facilitate the transfer between various accounts of the owners with the same name. As such, I have two bank accounts and I can transfer money very easily within my own accounts, right? And after that, it's very easily, they will transfer that money from the victim's account to their own.
Right. Which
To the new one.
that they used the victim's name.
Yes.
And then they just withdrew it. Oh my God.
Very easily, all they have to do is go to the ATM machine and withdraw the money before the owners realize that all the
I'm
money
scared.
had gone.
Oh my God. How did they come up with these ideas?
Right,
Like
it is
I've heard that
very,
they
very
actually
smart.
like well educated too.
Yes,
Like, because
one of them, Kun Thanadon, graduated from Australia, and the other one is a fruit seller in Nakhon Pathom province. They said they have done it 4 times already, and within
much?
3 months they got 800,000. Just 800,000. I'm pretty sure.
you were hoping for more?
No, I mean they were just lying.
Oh, that's true.
Right,
Because if
and-
you can do that within 3 months, that's probably more.
And mostly in Bangkok areas.
Okay, well, be careful.
2 things, don't leave the ATM receipts, and also be careful with the online banking service. Don't trust them.
Right.
the whole heart.
Well, because you have to be a little bit more careful these days, because technology, apparently you can hack into anything once it's in the system, right? So if you don't want to slip, just say that, say no to receiving the slip. But if you say yes, just make sure that
Take
you
it.
take it. Exactly. Wow, that's scary. All right, moving on to another scary news for a lot of people. Most definitely, especially for the people that work for Sahafarm. Now, at this point, there has been a report. I think I reported about Sahafarm before, where the workers actually came out in protest due to the fact that they weren't getting, they did not get paid at the time. Now, it seems like Sahafarm is in bigger trouble at this point due to the fact that another famous brands under the same umbrella is closing down. Now, this is the famous factory Pan Asia Footwear in the Sahafarm umbrella. And Pan, we have heard about this name.
The shoes brand.
Exactly, and it's quite famous because when we're younger, this generation probably wears something else. But when we were younger, Pan was quite the it brand for school uniforms in terms of shoes.
Sporting shoes.
Exactly. Now they say that at this point, the factory for pan will actually be closing down, including those in Rayong, Chonburi, as well as Prachinburi provinces. Now, we're looking at 2,000 workers that will be laid off at this point. So, at this point, the situation is not very good due to the fact that a lot of people are really concerned because obviously 2,000 workers are quite a bit. And worse than that, yesterday was that at about 10 a.m., the police have to take in a lot of the officers into the area where the factory was located in order to actually make sure that all the 300 workers that were gathered in front of the factory itself would not, increase or creating more trouble in the area due to the fact that these 300 people are gathered to request for the 3 months pay that they haven't received. So and they actually threatened to close down the Saraburi Lomsak road, which is linking a lot of traffic and such like that. Now this is a commercial, obviously. It was quite in at the time. Now anyway, so at this point the police said that they were able to get the situation under control because the representative talked to each other with the employer, of course, and they decided on the agreement that they would first pay them on the 23rd of this month, so I guess into the next 2 days, just maybe partially, and then the whole thing would be paid off within the 30th of September. So it seems like PAN is not doing very well, and the Labor Ministry will actually go in and help the 2,000 workers as well in order to make sure that they will be able to find other jobs.
Did they already settle with the last cases already?
Yeah.
Because at that time there were a scheduled date or the deadline that they will pay the workers.
I think so, because otherwise I believe that the workers probably would have gathered again.
Okay,
All right.
Moving on to some more news far away from Bangkok. Here in Trat province, there were an investigation from police of the Natural Resources and Environmental Crime Suppression Division that they joined hand with police in Koh Chang district of Trat province in the investigation of the Kai Bear elephant camp there in Koh Chang district, and in there they confiscated 2 elephants believed to be wild elephants that were born in the wild. Both of them were 4 years old, Plai Chok Di and Plai Mi Chok, which name means lucky
and
the lucky elephants, but not that lucky this time because they were seized because they suspected that these 2 elephants would be illegally registered because they were wild animals and they cannot register as a domestic elephants.
Well, if they are found to be wild, of course, at this point, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of suspicious flying around. That's why the police were actually confiscated them.
And they suspected that the elephants that have been illegally registered would be sold to work in a logging factory, and the owner would get the money without carrying.
Oh, so you mean like they were supposed to carry logs around and such?
Yes.
That's horrible.
And with the wild animals, they cannot register as a domestic animal because of the nature of the wild animals, wild elephants that might cause violence to people.
Oh, right, because they're not tamed. Because
Yes.
that means that if they're not tamed, and that could have caused a lot of problems.
And police said that the elephants might be from the Kangkachan forest in Phetchaburi area, and now 2 of them are under the care of Koh Chang National Park until the investigation is finalized.
All right, very interesting.
They're still baby elephants, 4 years old.
Now, moving on to another interesting news, of course, just still in the forest here. We have heard a lot about logging, illegal logging, and unfortunately, never heard of this particular method yet in terms of try to smuggle all these logs. Apparently, yesterday about 3 p.m., the officials as well as forest rangers, 50 of them altogether, went into Kanchanaburi area, which is in the Srinakarin National Park to be exact. And they say that they got a tip off saying that there were logs hidden underneath at the bottom of the reservoir. So
that means underwater.
Yeah, exactly, underwater, 1 meter under the water.
Oh.
Yeah, in the one of those old reservoir that they were like they restricted these areas from anyone to actually go in to keep it as like a flood prone area. That's what they said, because of course it's right next to the Srinakarin Dam. So in case they need to release some water, that's the area. And apparently people used that particular restricted area, well the smugglers at least, to hidden 57 logs altogether of redwoods, and they say that this is about 200,000 baht in total for these 57 logs, and they say that is about 5 to 6 meters long and 120 centimeters in width. Now, 3 culprits were actually found in the area. However, they narrowly escaped, the 50 rangers using motorboat. So they could not catch the culprit. However, at least they're able to confiscate it, these 57 logs. But it just shows you that it became a little bit more tactical in terms of trying to smuggle all these logs.
I wonder if the logs might get rotten under the water.
Well,
Because it's
not
a wood.
sure. Yeah, I thought it was interesting too, but maybe it was used for something else. So who knows? Maybe they have one of those ability to, not
So now
absorbing.
police and rangers have to go under the water to dive in order to find illegal logs.
Yeah, I believe tip off would be nice.
Okay,
All
with
right.
that, we're taking a short break for now, and up next we have a lot of interesting updates, including the attempts to help Thai people from Egypt,
Right.
from the situation that arises there, and also I've got not an unfortunate incident down south of Thailand. Stay tuned until we come back.